Hello YouTube, Moose Cow here, continuing our game of Kings and Kaisers. It is round 2, Russian Empire's turn, and yeah, this is not looking great, so to speak. So the Central Powers are coming at me hot, and I have a limited amount of units and things that I can do, so I'm going to try my best. But before I get into that, I've got to cover a couple things that were missed on Austria-Hungary's turn. He accounted for this convoy, but forgot this convoy over here since he's at war with Italy now, and since I have more than 2 ships, it's an automatic 2 IPCs that they do not collect for Greece being convoyed. So addressing that, and then also because Greece was attacked, Greece, we've added the island of Crete, which means that this gets flipped to the Allies. So let me just explain exactly how our neutrals setup works exactly. So all minor aligned powers have double the, like the out-of-box rule, it's double the IPCs of worth of the territory in units, 1 being an artillery and the rest infantry. However, if it's a minor neutral power that is coastal, it'll be the same. But if it is not a coastal minor neutral power, then it's just double the IPC's worth of infantry. So, for example, Afghanistan has 2 infantry, not an infantry and artillery. Tibet has 2 infantry, not an infantry and artillery. For minor neutral powers, it is purely if they are a coastal territory, then they get an artillery. So we have Abyssinia, instead of originally it was Ethiopia, we have Abyssinia. They have an artillery, so if somebody wants to amphibious assault, well, they'll get a preemptive, preemptive first strike or preemptive shot? I forget exactly what it's called, but anyway. So, and then over here in South America, it's the same kind of rule, right? So Chile's minor aligned, so it's just double like standard, but it is coastal. But Paraguay and Bolivia, that's double the IPC. They're each 1. Those are infantry. And then same Venezuela, all those, since those are coastal, they get an artillery. Now, if it's a minor aligned power or territory that doesn't have an IPC value, that means it gets 1 infantry, 1 cavalry. So these 3 Ottoman territories, they're all worthless, but they get those units, right? And they do not have an artillery, so they don't get a preemptive first strike. And then we go into colonies. So minor aligned colonies and neutral colonies all get 1 infantry regardless of IPC value. So Denmark, it's a minor neutral power, and it's coastal, and it's the homeland, right? 3 infantry and an artillery for 2 IPCs. These are colonies of Denmark. Iceland has 1 IPC, gets 1 infantry. Greenland has no IPCs, it still gets 1 infantry. Same thing with Spanish Morocco and Rio de Oro. Same thing with these Dutch territories over here. Okay, so that kind of explains that. In Mongolia, we have 3 territories in Mongolia, but only 1 of them is worth 1 IPC. So those are 2 infantry, and these each have an infantry and a cavalry. So there you go. Anyway, so continuing on from there, this guy in Crete is going to become, I get to choose. So he becomes Italian, and Crete becomes an Italian territory. All right. Anyway. With that out of the way, on with the show. I still have a tech. I'm going to roll my tech. Need a 5 or a 6, 2 6s, 2 5s, or a 5 and a 6. I got a 6. Okay. Come on. 4. Machine guns. Gotta love them. That is going to go down. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Where's that gonna go? It's probably gonna have to go in Moscow, honestly. Tempting to put it in Caucasus, but I'm gonna put it in Moscow for many reasons. Anyway, so, without further ado, the rest of the purchases, get rid of this chip. I will have purchase to extend the Trans-Siberian Railway 1 territory. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in Irkutsk. And then we have 12 on 3 artillery, 2 on 6 infantry, and another 12 on 4 infantry. So there you go. Okay. Let's see. Alright, non-combats and combats must occur at the same time. I'm reminding Madman again. Combats and non-combats other than aircraft that have engaged in combat, which can then finish their movement value phase if they have it. Combats and non-combats must occur at the same time. You cannot see how battles pan out to affect your non-combat movements. So 1 infantry here, 1 infantry here. This cavalry from Irkutsk will tow 1 artillery to Omsk. This infantry here will move to Tuva to meet up with this artillery. In our rule, in our game, we have changed the infantry rule that units, as long as when units are mobilized, there's an infantry accompanying artillery, it's a legal move. So I'm going to be building an infantry here to accompany this, and that is fine. Okay. Anyway, in the original game, you can't do that. There has to be an infantry, other than when they're on transports. There has to be an infantry accompanying it at all times. In the original game, but we've made a few changes. Anyway, so all right, okay. I'm going to, as much as it would be nice to fight back here, this is just overwhelming. Austria is coming at me hot. Germany's coming at me hot. So it's mostly going to be non-combat. So I'm going to move these 6 infantry out of Crimea. I'll leave 1 behind. Classic move I learned from Madman. Always leave 1, especially in this game, because they rolled 3. This infantry from Volga will... Let's see. Yeah, he'll go up to Eastern Ukraine. These guys here, 1 artillery backing up to Central Russia, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 infantry moving from Eastern Ukraine back to Central Russia. Oh boy. And then these 2 infantry here, or sorry, 3 infantry, I'm going to move 2 of them back to Central Russia. And these 2 infantry from Karelia back to Central Russia. Let's see, I'll leave 1 infantry in Lithuania. Let's see. Swap this up. Okay, this fighter from Petrograd will go to Moscow. These 4 units, 2 artillery and 2 infantry, will rail from Moscow to Central Russia. And then the 1 infantry in Ingria will move to Karelia. Let's see. Okay. Now here's the one battle. Sensing the loss of Crimea and the safety of my mines, I am going to attack the Ottomans in their sea zone. Attack their navy with their 2 cruisers with my 2 cruisers. So he has mines. He's got mines. One cool thing that we did do from the original 1914 map. These were the 2 things that bothered me the most. We corrected Bulgaria's border, and then we also split this sea zone. And we have the Turkish Straits represented here. The Allies, unlike the rules for the out-of-box game, the Allies cannot come up into the sea zone and pass through the strait. That would have been impossible during the war because of how heavily mined and narrow this strait is. So it's 2 sea zones now, not 1, like in the out-of-box game. So this is sea zone 32. This is sea zone, where is it? 33. Okay. Anyway, so that means this convoy is no longer happening against Austria-Hungary. But I feel like this might be worthwhile. Anyway, so that is the only combat. Let me quadruple check this. I know this looks bad, but I gotta do something, right? Yeah, gotta congregate somewhere. So, yeah. Let's see. These cavalry. I'll be moving 2 to. Actually, hold on a second. How many did it? what were my purchases again? Okay. So, those cavalry. Let's see. Let me think. Yeah, they're just gonna stay. Thinking. Okay, you know what? Actually, no, never mind. All good. All good. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's do it. Here's the two mines. Oh, thank goodness. A 4 and a 2. Okay. My 2 3s. 2 cruisers against 2 cruisers. I got one of them. Okay. His rebuttal. 2 3s. Okay, he got me. But I got one of them, so there's that. But that does give an NO against the Ottomans. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. All right. Well, that happened. Okay, mobilize new units. 3 artillery going down in Moscow. Again, Moscow is a victory city currently. It is not a capital. 6 infantry going down in Petrograd. So the rule for Russia can move their capital, this marker here, they can move their capital from Petrograd to Moscow under the condition that the Central Powers are either adjacent to Petrograd or they're contesting Petrograd. And at the beginning of Russia's turn, they pay 12 IPCs, and that capital move immediately happens. And it only can happen once during the game. If the Russian Revolution, or not the revolution necessarily, but the Civil War occurs, the capital is immediately moved. The Russian Revolution happens. It's a 2-step process. You got the revolution that occurs, and then the Russian Civil War that results. So when the Russian Revolution occurs, capital is immediately moved to Moscow, and Russia doesn't have to pay that. But anyway, okay. Almost forgot the infantry here. I said it earlier. That infantry gets spawned in Urals, or one infantry does. So we have. Let's see. Actually, maybe I do want to spawn 2 infantry in Urals. Nah. Okay, anyway. So, disposition of forces, I got 1 infantry in the Far East, I got 1 in Amur, I have an infantry and artillery in Tuva, I now have a Trans-Siberian rail marker in Irkutsk. I mean, I just got to build 2 more. I got infantry, artillery, and cavalry in Urals, infantry in East Ukraine, infantry in Crimea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 infantry in Caucasus. Infantry in Crimea, infantry in Eastern Ukraine, infantry in Belarus, infantry in Karelia. Lithuania. I forgot to move these guys. These 3 infantry will back up to Karelia. So, okay, so 1 in Lithuania, 1 in Belarus, 4 infantry in Karelia, 5 infantry in Ingria, and then in Central Russia we have a fighter. We have 3 infantry paired with a machine gun. We have 4 cavalry. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 artillery. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 infantry. 12 infantry. Quadruple check that. 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, 12 infantry. Okay, cool. So that is Russia's turn. They are at, I believe, 26 on the tracker. Let me quadruple check that. They start at 32. 30. 29. Yep, Yeah, so they're at 26. Yeah, cool, 26. 26 on the tracker. So, where do I have that? Six. There you go. Okay, so Russia gets 26 for the next turn, and I'm not going to go through it all, but there's no NOs. So, no national objectives for Russia. Germany's to round 2. Let's see what you got, Madman.